Neighbor took her kids and mine to a petting zoo. Of course, one of my kids got bit on the arm and needed stitches. I hate to send my neighbor the bill, but she signed something when they went in that clears the zoo of any liability. What should I do?
Yeah, this is a tough one. And first of all, don't send your friend the bill.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, because you're not going to have a friend much longer. So just, even if you can't get someone else to pay the bill ultimately, don't send it to your friend. You pay the bill. But let's go to the last part of that email that said your friend signed something. And we see this a lot, where a parent or some other adult will sign a waiver or some other type of form that relieves the institution or the business from any and all liability. And I will be honest with you, there's case law out there that states that waiver is not valid when it comes to the child. The child, if you're under the age of 19, the child is not old enough to enter into an agreement, and the parent cannot necessarily waive any type of a claim that child has. Now, let's say that your neighbor signed that waiver and then your neighbor got bit, then she could not bring a claim. But as it relates to your child, I think your child's going to be fine. So don't just take it at face value that just because she signed some type of a waiver that your child does not have a claim. So at this point, if you haven't already spoken to the company or the place or the zoo, I would speak to them. If they tell you the same thing, which they probably will, then you probably need to speak to a lawyer to see if you can get outside that waiver.
But when does it become financially worth it to kind of go through all that? If you're talking about someone who's gotten some stitches,
right,
and they're going to try to fight this company, right, to maybe pay for the medical bill,
right,
but you're going to have to pay an attorney if they take on the case. I mean, like, at what point do you just say, well, I just lesson learned, yeah, I'll just pay the bill?
Right. Well, I think a lot of it depends on whether the person that we're talking about here has health insurance. If the child has health insurance, then the bills are going to be paid, and no harm, no foul, so to speak. If there are bills that the family has to pay, then there may be a couple of different things you can do. Number one, the zoo undoubtedly has insurance, and there's two types of insurance that a business has: liability insurance when they do something wrong, and then also something we call medical payments coverage, which relates, it's kind of a no-fault type of a situation. So absolutely, at least speak to a lawyer. If a lawyer does take this case on, it's going to be a contingency fee, so you're not going to come out of pocket anything anyway. So there's absolutely no harm in at least speaking to a lawyer.